Hi everyone, James from Elite. If you are liking this channel, please like and subscribe to this channel. It massively helps. So today we're going to talk about heat pumps and battery only. There's a big misconception that you need solar panels to gain and access cheaper energy. This customer hasn't got solar panels yet, and I want to show you the benefits of just having a battery on its own. As you can see, they've got no solar panels on the roof. We're going to go check out the heat pump and battery setup and how they've scheduled it through Octopus Cozy tariff to access them cheaper tariffs and get the heating bills solely on 13p a kilowatt throughout the day, day and night. Let's go check it out. Okay, I might get this done whilst it's off at the moment. This is the air source heat pump, Logic Air 4 kilowatt. It's actually going to a defrost cycle, so we might hear a or something like that because it's 2 degrees outside, absolutely freezing. A second ago it was going off the clappers and yeah, working hard because it's so cold and so humid outside actually today as well. So we installed this heat pump onto this bungalow, pardon me, and it's a nice open loop, open volume with a volumizer system controlled by the Halo Air thermostat. It is going into a defrost. You see that steam? How cool is that? So yeah, what we've done is install this heat pump first of all, and then we've installed the battery, which we're going to show you in the garage. This has gone in first. They had a winter with it, seeing how they're getting on with it. Check that out. And then yeah, afterwards they've got the battery and then brought them energy bills right down by buffering energy from the cheaper tariffs. It looks like this heat pump's on a vape, and then all for good video and good content. And then yeah, basically cheaper energy. I'm gonna get through this. Cheaper energy, buffering it through the battery, and then making this heat pump go on 13p a kilowatt, and it's 400% efficiency. So you've actually physically seen a defrost cycle. If you was wondering why your heat pump is doing them weird things outside, that was a defrost cycle. The heat pump fan's gonna kick in again, and the compressor's gonna come in. As I say, it's absolutely freezing in out here. That was quite warm actually coming off there. So I've never stood right in front of it as it's doing a defrost cycle. So this lovely heat pump is doing the heating, getting to a nice 21 degrees. We're not having to drive that energy up massively through them cheaper tariffs. The heat pump's doing its thing. The battery is the heart of the install and buffering that energy on them cheaper tariffs. So love these heat pumps. Let's go and see the battery. Okay, so the battery. This is a Solax 10 kilowatt battery. It is a stackable battery. So what you can do is, as it pretty much describes, you can stack more batteries one on top of the other. So the customer is charging solely on cheaper energy from Octopus Cozy through the day and night. So every time there is a dip down to about 13p a kilowatt, the customer is charging this battery fully. Because there is 2 to 3 dips, which we'll show you on a graph later, that he's managed to charge that full battery and then release that energy through the mid-range prices and especially that high price around about tea time. So it's really important. We've, as you can see on some graphs later as well, even on the coldest days, the customer is not even touching the mid-range prices, which is fantastic. So he's charging through them dips, and not even touching the 23, 26p a kilowatt, and even up to the 30, 40p a kilowatt during the tea time hours, which means that he's solely running the heating system, all of his electric bills, sorry, of 13p a kilowatt, which is absolutely fantastic. As we say, we've got a heat pump outside. The benefit of the battery and the heartbeat of the system is that we don't have to run the heating, revving it right up when it's cheaper energy and then knocking it off when it's more expensive. The comfort levels are a lot better, buffering the energy through the battery, because there might be some underlying issues with doing it with the heat pump, because one, comfort levels are going to go cold when it's more expensive, and then the second thing is that the wear and tear on the heat pump itself, revving its nuts off when it's cheaper, it's not going to be good for any heat pump. So what I do like with this particular system is that we can leave the heat pump to do the low, slow and continuous approach. Maybe a couple of alterations through the day, but nothing extreme where we're revving it right up to 55-degree flow temperature, and letting the heat pump do its thing naturally, but using the battery to buffer that energy, which is really, really important. A little side note about batteries actually is that you've got to be careful. Manufacturers are getting quite wise and savvy. New batteries might not be cross-compatible to all battery versions, so it's really important to make sure that you're getting the right size battery right from the off. Unfortunately, we've had customers 2 or 3 years later saying, I want another battery, not this particular model, but other models, and saying, unfortunately, what they're selling now won't go with your old version. Yes, you can sell maybe older batteries on eBay or wherever and then getting the new batteries, but that's just an absolute ball ache. So it's really important to make sure you get the right size battery from the off, knowing what your house and your demands are going to be and sizing accordingly. I think a minimum really should be about 10 kilowatts, unless you live in like a flat or a really, really small house. A 5 kilowatt testing, 5 kilowatt might be from the offset, but 10 kilowatt is a good size to start with. So yeah, we're going to look at some graphs, look at Octopus Cozy, look at some data on actually showing you the battery charging and discharging around them tariffs, and showing you how it's never even got to the mid-range prices. It's charging through that cheaper period. Then when it comes to the mid-range prices and stuff like that, it releases the energy to everything in the house, not just the heat pump, your lights, your sockets, your kettles, or everything. This is for the full house, not just for the heat pump system, which is really important. So if you haven't got solar, or your roof's not suitable for solar, then the battery is an absolute must. It is a really, really game-changing thing. They've come down a lot in price, and I think everyone should have a battery, regardless if you've got a heat pump or not, just to get on a smart tariff like an Octopus Cozy, Octopus Agile, stuff like that. British Gas are bringing out good ones as well now, to charge for cheaper energy and make sure that you're getting more prolonged, cheaper energy through the day is a real benefit. Plus, you're helping the grid as well. Not everyone's grabbing energy at them really high peak times. We're making the grid a lot more balanced throughout as well. So yeah, this is a great battery. Absolutely love them. Stackable. We can add more onto it if they're still selling them, which they are at the moment. Stack these up, really good. And as I say, it's a fantastic battery. So the customer's got heat pump and battery only, and it's working an absolute treat, because the heat pump, which I'll show you as well, is running at 400% efficiency, because we're now at 13 pence a kilowatt, and the heat pump's been 400% efficiency throughout the year. That is what, 6.5 pence, around about 3 pence, just over 3 pence, to run the heat pump side of things through the battery. So they've got the heat pump first, and then later on got the battery, and now the heating bills are absolutely going really, really well with that cheaper energy. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want a battery, contact us. And yeah, if you're liking this video, please like and subscribe as always. Get yourself a battery, because they're an absolute game changer. Okay, so just to give you a visual on the Octopus Cozy tariff, this is it. So we have cheaper periods throughout the day. 4 till 7 in the morning, 1 till 4 in the afternoon, and then 10 till 12 in the evening. And then we have a higher rate around tea time after that 4 o'clock period, so 4 till 7 or 8 o'clock. Octopus state that the cheaper periods are 50% less than the standard rate, and then the peak rates are 30% higher than the standard rates as well. So it's really important to keep away from, obviously, the really, really high rates around tea time. The customer is charging the battery at these cheaper periods throughout the day. Every time there's a dip, we'll charge 10 kilowatts worth and then release the energy when it's the mid-range prices and especially the high rate prices. What we can see on the next graph is the customer is actually not even taking away from the grid, even in the standard rate of 23 pence a kilowatt. So he's charging throughout the day, is making it possible to run everything in his house at 13 pence a kilowatt all day and night. See on the next graph how this is real well possible. Check it out. Okay, so this is real well scenario. This is the customer's battery app and a graph of how the battery is being charged through the day and then it depleting throughout the day because the customer's had all the electrical needs requirements from the heat pump, through cooking, whatever it is, through the property, throughout the day, and how the battery's depleting. So this is, look at this is January 19th, very, very cold this time of year. We are charging the battery. This was before on that nighttime dip here. It's charged the battery right down. It's only depleted to about 35%. And then it's going right back up on this cheaper period here. And this is the most important part. This is the afternoon period. It's depleting right before it gets to, it's got to like 20% here. And then it's charging right back up. Then it's depleting through that really expensive period throughout the tea time period, not having to take from the grid at all. If it was taken from the grid, you'd see it charge back up, but we're not. We're only discharging right through their mid-range prices as well. And then once it gets to that evening period, we're going to start charging again. So as you can see on this particular day, we have not touched the mid-range price or the cheaper price at all. It's literally been charging through the cheaper periods, dipping through the day, cheaper period again, charging again, and then all the way through to 10 o'clock at night where it's going to start charging again. And that customer has been using 13 pence a kilowatt throughout the day on that, which is amazing. So just to emphasize this point, this is the Octopus Energy app. It can really cleverly now break down the Octopus Cozy tariffs into segments of what you're paying at what period during the day. So this is one of the coldest weeks of the year. This is what the customer's paying, and obviously I'll split this down as well. So this is your standard rate, boo hoo hoo, because it never changes. As you can see, it's 50 pence a kilowatt. Then we've got the tiny little green bits here, which is hardly nothing. I think they just have to show this. This is your peak rate, which is 30% higher than your standard rate, which they're not doing anything from. And then 90%, which is not taking away the standard charge, 90% of the usage is that 13 pence a kilowatt. Tiniest amount on the standing rate, which is, to be fair, exactly the same as well. So they might just have to show that, but all of the usage is being on that cheaper period as well. So as you can see, the battery is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, charging during cheaper periods, releasing during the expensive periods, and you can physically see it on the customer's app and on the running costs in real world. So how cool is that? We can see that it's actually working, and the benefit of it is that all of the energy usage on them cheaper periods throughout one of the coldest weeks of the year is on 13 pence a kilowatt. That is the heating running, the hot water doing its thing, all the electrical needs on the cheaper period because of the benefits of battery storing it throughout the day. If the customer had EV, this might be a different scenario and how we could set that up around Octopus Go and what we would do. But just because they haven't got EV, this is a really good setup how they can charge it throughout the day, release it in expensive periods and get really the benefit of 13 pence a kilowatt.